So, this is our new life. And this is also our new life. So, if this is our new life, living in France on a British barge named Proper Job, how did we end up here? You could say it's because 8 years ago we rented a small barge called a penny shed and cruised along the Canal du Midi in the south of France. But that's only really part of the explanation. Sailing in the Puget Sound? That's also part of it. We relished every moment, well, most anyway, that we could spend on the water. Our pets did too, actually, and our family and friends seemed to enjoy it. So that's also part of the explanation.
Oh my god, it's right here, right here.
Another clue? There's this guy on the left. That's Dick Turley, Jack's father. Dick could cross the country by helicopter or an ocean by sailboat, so inevitably Jack acquired many of these skills and passions. Being on the water has always been a part of our relationship DNA, though. We even got engaged on our sailboat, and a few years later on the water, funny thing is, probably the biggest explanation for why we're here is just because of good old ordinary burnout. I'd been running a nonprofit for decades, working long hours. Jack had been traveling extensively for work and had to slow down due to health issues. So I think we'd both just sort of forgotten over time which way was up in life. And that brings us to where we are today. All right. Hi, friends and family. We've been underway tomorrow 2 weeks, meeting on the canals, and on Friday we'll have been gone for a month. And it's been a little too busy to regularly send photos and videos, and we don't remember who we sent to what. So this is an intro because tonight I'm going to try to edit and put together some a segment for you. Anything to add, Captain Jack?
I steered the boat go that way.
All right, let's see how this goes. Well, actually, it didn't start out this fun. We had a few things to do before we could leave. So, once we got ourselves here and our slightly skeptical crew here, we had some essential tasks. We had to provision the boat, give a bunch of our money to a French IKEA, navigate the 800 plus brands of yogurt, and of course we had to practice riding bikes with baguettes in our baskets. After all the prep work, after Jack went up to London to get his 70 captain's license, we were almost ready to leave the dock. Though first Jack had to figure out where I was stashing the chocolate and croissants, which he did. And we had to have a toast with Stuart and Leslie. Stu and Leslie, we learned, were just all around cool people and experienced bargers, but they were also part of a larger, indispensable Piper barge family that we began to meet. Then the day finally came. We untied our lines. Our friends helped Jack find the start button, and as his friend Kevin calls it, the pointy end of the boat, and off we finally went. After that first lock, with 123 more to go, we inched out of the protected harbor of St. Eustache and turned our barge east by northeast onto the Saône River. Then, over the next 19 days, we wove in and out of 3 rivers, the Saône, the Doubs, and the Rhine, and through 2 canals, the Grand Canal d'Alsace and the Canal de Rhône-Rhin. Our average speed underway was a little more than 3 miles an hour, but when you factor in the time going through locks, our quote speed made good was just under 2.5 miles an hour, which is about the same pace as someone walking through a gallery, or the speed of a tortoise, or in this case, a toddler who is, yes, they are even passing us on their trike. Despite our pace, we did cover a lot of ground over 19 days. We traveled 351 kilometers, went through 124 locks, and because I'm a data geek who tracked our every move, I also know that we spent about 86 hours at the helm and 19 hours inside locks. And of course, if you know me, you know I love history, so I have to share a little bit about the lock and canal system. They were built mostly in the 17th and 18th century, of course, at the order of French kings, and they basically enabled the movement of militias and coal, lime, and salt. They were Amazon or Uber Eats of their day. There's now over 1,800 locks in France alone, and some of the locks, like you see here on the Rhine, are part of a massive transportation infrastructure. Vamos a ver. All right, buddy. Yes. C'est bien, Shiva? Our mornings would begin with coffee and baguettes, followed by, of course, more coffee and baguettes. I would do our route planning, check weather, canal conditions, and then I would look for any lock closures, which definitely happen. Water levels can fluctuate. They can be too low, or after heavy rain, the water levels are too high. We experienced both in our short trip. Jack, nicknamed Captain Jack since he was 8 years old, was at the helm most of the day. That's a little too fascist for my taste. There's Betty.
I thought it was more Benny Hill.
Oh, I don't know. Our evenings were mostly quiet in our new little home, but we also met some fellow bargers, had fun hanging out with them, and we met some sailors who were using the French Canal network to go from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. Also along the way, we had some time to visit museums, churches, citadels, and fortresses. Some of the villages were quieter than others, and I later learned that between 1950 and 1980, over 2 million French people migrated into the cities. Meaning our fourth day underway, we're saying goodbye to Besançon. That's the citadel that Louis the Sun King built. Along the way, we also saw reminders of the World Wars. At one of the locks along the historic Maginot Line, we saw pillboxes still intact where gunners would position themselves. And in St. Eustache, we saw a Liberation Day parade celebrating the moment that the Allies entered the town and freed the community from its long-held occupation by the Nazis. And then one day, finally, the 124 locks were behind us, and the 315 kilometers. On October 7th, we arrived in Strasbourg. On October 8th, Jack became French. Excuse me, have you seen Jack Turley? He's wearing a baseball hat and Levi's and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know that guy.
I like him, but you? I don't know. I think I might upgrade to you. So we're all settled here in Strasbourg for the winter. We are at a marina that has a park next to it and a lovely entai. We're enjoying exploring the city and planning for friends and family to come visit. And we're planning what our new life, our slow life, will look like on the canals next spring. Hey dude, you're in my picture.
Hi.